Good morning. What's going on? Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I hope you and you and you are doing awesome. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to hang out and chat. We're going to talk shop and projects, and you know the drill. I don't need to say that. What's going on? I hope everybody's doing awesome. Let's see. Sam's here. Sam says hello, everyone, with the wave. Good morning, good afternoon to you, Sam. It's morning here, but. And Mike Johnson's here. Mike says morning. Morning. How's everyone doing? What are you all up to this fine Wednesday? Right on, right on. Let's see, make sure I'm got the right settings here. There we go. Mike says, so how was the show? It was great. It was awesome. Honestly, I still don't feel like I'm caught up on my sleep from that. Had to get up early to start the day, and yeah, it was a long day and very, very busy. We had a great time. I'm working on editing the video right now. That's the plan for this weekend, would be the kind of the coverage from the 2024 Colorado Guitar Show and Custom Luthier's Expo, or Luthier's Custom Expo, whatever it is. I'm working on the video for it right now, and that is my goal for today, to get it completely edited. I'm about halfway done right now. But yeah, the show was incredible. I pretty much just almost lost my voice. I didn't exactly lose it, but my throat was sore by the end of the day, and I could definitely feel it. It was amazing. Time Surfing Alien says good morning. Good morning. Donna says good morning. Coffee up. Good morning, Donna. Coffee up. Right on. Alrighty. We got a wave. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, and my apologies for that, but I'm giving you a wave back. Harry Dude says, what's up? Hello, everyone. Good morning, Harry Dude. Oh, thought something was pulling in the driveway. What are you up to today? This morning? Thursday morning. How's Australia? Robert says, hello, everyone. Good morning, Robert. Right on, right on. Sam says, I can't remember if you said you have a P.O. box or no. Looked for it in the channel, but couldn't find it. Just check the video description. For any of the videos on the channel, scroll down towards the bottom of the video description, and my P.O. box information is there. Donna says, did you sell any? The acoustic guitar has moved on to its new home. It's out of here. It's no longer mine. So that one's gone. So that's pretty awesome. It was at the show. That one, I guess, actually sold the day before, but that was the stipulation. I got to take it to the guitar show, and then you can have it. So, yeah, that's out of here. Robert says, sorry about that. Did not see the first post. No worries, Robert. It's all good. Time Surfing Alien says, no offense, but you look like you could use a nap. No offense taken, my friend. I agree with you. Like I said earlier, or right at the very beginning, I feel like I still haven't completely caught up from the weekend, really. The day Sunday started super early. I was out of bed at like 4:45 in the morning to finish loading up. We needed to hit the road by 6 a.m. in order to get there right around the time the doors opened. So, yeah, I no offense taken, because I'm telling you, I probably could use a nap. At least my voice is back. By the end of the day on Sunday, it was all scratchy and kind of, my throat was getting raw. It was mean, you're in an environment. Imagine being like at your local guitar center with everyone trying out instruments kind of loudly, and you have to talk over all of that all day long, and as you're interacting with people. I think the only thing that I didn't have to talk over was somebody banging away on a drum set at the local guitar center. But yeah, it was an awesome day though. Harry Dude says, sitting here doing a heap of parts ordering. Love spending money. Not. I know. That's how I felt as I was working on the last build. Right as I got started, of course, you got to get the parts on hand. Yeah. Ordering all kinds of parts. I was only ordering for one build, but still. Yeah. Not fun. Getting the parts is cool, but ordering them and spending the money is not cool. Sam says Samsung keyboards are way too small for big fingers. Well, I don't consider myself having overly big fingers, and I still have trouble with the keyboard. Robert says, great, glad you sold it. Sad, but that's what you built it for, right? You're exactly right. That's why I built it as a righty, because I wanted to try to sell it, and it sold. So that's awesome. The first acoustic is out into the world. Sam says, GoPro Hero 12 have a streamer's package with microphone and LED light. I have the Hero 10, and I have that media mod for it. I think that's about the same thing that they have for the 12. I haven't really looked into that. It has the microphone and stuff. I just did not purchase the extra light for it. Robert asks, will we be seeing any video of the show? Yes, absolutely. I'm working on that right now. I've got it about halfway done. I'm hoping by the end of today, I'll have the video completely edited, and that'll be the plan to get it out this weekend. Just some overall coverage of the show. It was pretty cool. It was a little bit hard as I'm going back through the footage and working on the edit. I realized maybe I didn't get enough or as much coverage of the show as I really wanted, because I don't know. I had some friends come up with me to help out, and they kind of were able to help watch the table and help interact with some of the people coming through. And maybe I just didn't take enough time to get a little bit more coverage. I've got plenty of video footage, but I just don't. I feel I could have covered a little bit more. So it's making it a little bit of a challenge to put the video together, but it's still cool, and it's going to be out this weekend. Working on putting it together. Starting at, well, about 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll see. I still have my sleepy voice and and all of that. So it's going to be cool. It definitely was awesome. A really good time. Just a long and slightly tiring day. But that's to be expected, and I'm not complaining. Except that I still look a little bit tired. That's all right, though. It happens. That's why we have coffee, right? Time Surfing Alien says, sorry, forgot about the like. It's smashed now. Right on. Thank you. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. And thank you, Sam, for throwing that out there. Don't forget to smash the like. It's totally free. Yes. And we won't even call you about your car's extended warranty. Right on. So what's everybody working on? We know Harry Dude is ordering a bunch of parts. And Harry Dude, what are you ordering parts for? Any specific build, or just kind of a general restock? At this exact moment, what am I working on? I have nothing on the bench at the moment. That last guitar build, the video went out last Saturday. That was my. Now that that's done, I was trying to get that done because that needed to go to the guitar show. And now that that's done, I got to jump into something new. So I'm sort of in between projects at the moment, working on the edit for the show. But I want to show you something cool that I picked up and kind of got displayed at the show, and the information is now out there into the world. And I picked up, let's see here, Sam, I think that's what you're talking about. You have items on the bench. I'm going to show you what that is. Check this out. This is a heat blanket controller that I'm going to incorporate into my side bender for building acoustics. This is made by my buddy Greg at Skyscraper Guitars. We got a controller. I think it's called like a PID controller. I don't know what that stands for, or I don't remember. But yeah, got the controller. We got a thermocouple in there that'll work with the blanket to control the heat. If you remember when I built the side bender, I don't have any particular controller in there. It's either on or off. I have it on a timer so that it can't stay on too long, but having this is going to allow me to be able to control the temperature of that blanket a lot better. This is a brand new release from Skyscraper Guitars, and I can't wait to put it to use. I've already plugged it in and kind of tried it just to, just playing around. I think this is going to work awesome, and I'm going to figure out how to incorporate this into my bender for future guitar builds. But it's pretty cool. Really like the build quality of this thing. A nice vented enclosure. It just plugs into the wall, and then I plug the heat blanket into this. You set all the controls, and the thermocouple plugs into this guy here. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. So pretty excited about this. This is something that I kind of wanted from the get-go when I built the side bender, but I thought, well, for now I'm gonna wait, just put it on a timer. But I'm really excited to incorporate this. Also, and I'm not sponsored or anything by Skyscraper Guitars. I did purchase this thing, but they're working on some cool new items, especially since LMI has closed down. I know they've been really busy trying to bring some new products to the market, and if you're looking for guitar tools and things, I definitely recommend at least going over and checking out the Skyscraper Guitars website. See some of the newer things that are getting ready to be announced, and I got to see some of them at the guitar show, but I don't know what all is official yet. So I'm just gonna leave it to you. If you want to go look at their website and check everything out, definitely some cool stuff in the works. Like I said it already, not sponsored or anything, but really nice stuff. And so far, all of the tools I have from them I really like. So yeah, looking forward to getting this heat controller installed. So Sam, there you go. That's what's on the bench. Heat controller for my side bender. And that's it. I mean, I got some scraps and stuff I've been kind of picking up out here, getting things ready for the next project, whatever that's going to be. Harry Dude says, ordering repair parts for customers' repair jobs. Electronics and guitar parts. Got a lot in at the moment. Right on. I am glad to hear you're busy. I want everyone to be busy. And Robert says, bought a Woodcraft red oak, 8th inch by 3 by 24. One piece for some accents for a build from Amazon. Ooh, cool. That sounds cool. Time Surfing Alien says, to Harry Dude, do you do wiring? Do you have a channel? Harry Dude says, I sprayed a maple strat neck over the weekend with gloss polyurethane. How long would you leave it to cure before buffing and polishing? I'm thinking a week or two. I would say, if you can, 2 weeks. I usually kind of like to, this isn't scientific, but if you can pick it up and give it the old sniff test, if you can still smell fairly strong, the smell, it's not cured yet. So I mean, you might be able to get by with a week, but I think if it was me, I'd wait at least 2. I know that's typically what I try to wait if I'm going to be buffing, at least 2 weeks. And I've not had an issue with that. it's kind of hard because after a week or so, you kind of want to get to it and get it done. But I think I'd wait 2 weeks. Poly, in my experience, seems to take maybe just a little bit longer. I know on the very first guitar body that I made, I used a poly, and I had it hanging inside the house because it was. I think it was. I'd have to. I don't remember exactly, but I know I had it inside. I think it was cooler outside, so I brought it inside the house, and it stunk up the house for days. But I really do think that there's something to the sniff test. If you can smell the fumes coming off it, it's not ready. But I would think 2 weeks, you'd probably be good to go. Let's see. Time. Oh, Harry Dude says the Time Surfing Alien. Yeah, yes, I do guitar wiring and mods setups. I work as a full-time guitar tech. Also do electronics repairs, amps, pedals, PA gear. No, I don't have a channel yet. Ah, do it, Harry Dude. You have a lot of knowledge in that stuff, and I think I think there's a lot of people that would benefit from you sharing your knowledge in the form of a YouTube channel. I know I would. Time Surfing says, thanks, Harry Dude. And Paul's here. Paul says, greetings all. Greetings, Paul. How are you? How's everything down in your neck of the woods? Sam says, does a guitar have to be traditional guitar shape to be called a guitar that plays guitar music? Let's see. Unique guitar shape. So many wonders on the internet these days. No, Sam. I think the short answer is no, it doesn't. I think the shape of a guitar being the way it is really just kind of tradition. Honestly, I don't think that there's any reason it has to be that shape. There are certain advantages to the shape. With the guitar having somewhat of a waist, it makes it a little more comfortable if it's resting on your leg or something like that. But I think really, if you want it, you can make it any shape you want, and it's likely gonna play music, especially if it's an electric guitar. You can make it whatever wacky shape you can come up with, and it's gonna be a guitar. Paul says to Sam, they're always purists, but no, it doesn't have to be guitar shape. Yes, that's kind of exactly what I said. Paul said it a little better. Purists. That's the word I didn't think of. But yeah, a lot of people kind of are deeply rooted in that traditional shape. But make it whatever you want. Time Surfing says, Les Paul had a 4x4. Yeah. I mean, I don't think, it might make somewhat of a difference. If you went too radical on something like an acoustic instrument, I don't know. It might do something different, but I still think I've seen some pretty interesting shaped acoustics as well. As long as you brace it accordingly and let the top move as it's supposed to, do whatever you want. I'm not one to really just say that you have to do it this way in order for it to be a real guitar. It kind of goes back to that video that I did a while back, where I was talking about, people say, oh, a real luthier would never, whatever, that you see on a lot of the forums and stuff these days. And you just do what you want to do and make it the way you want to make it, is the way I feel. Robert says the wood has a bow in it, but it's thin and flexible enough that it shouldn't be any problem getting it to flatten out when I use it. Cool, yeah, if it's an 1/8 inch, you should be able to do whatever you want to do with it. Right, it says just fiddly to mess with. Yes, I agree. Time Surfing says Emerald sure has some wild guitars. Yeah, I saw some at the show that they're functioning electric guitars, but I mean, this guy makes them and they're like air in the shape of airplanes and all kinds of stuff. Um, I know I've got a clip that I'll put in the video, and they're wild. And now I can't play them because they're righties, of course, but but yeah, they're functioning, working guitars, and they're nowhere near what is considered traditional. Here, dude says, thanks, dude. We'll let the neck sit for a couple weeks and try and resist temptation. It's actually one of my own guitars, and I'm itching to get it back up and running again. Oh, yeah, that's like the worst. Because, yeah, it's yours, so you want to put it back together and play it. Yeah, no, just let that sucker cure. Otherwise, if it doesn't cure, you got to think about the other side of it, too. If it, you attack it too early with the buffing compound and everything, and you end up ruining the finish, then you're going to be doing it all over again. So you just have to set it aside where you can't even see it for a while. Yeah, Robert says, yeah, I remember the guitar that Bonehead Guitars made that looked like a giant ice cream sandwich. Yeah, Paul, and Paul's got a very good point. Says, look at the Martin backpacker guitar. It's different shaped. Yes, it is. It is different. Not really a fan of it necessarily, but I've heard they sound and play pretty good. Sam says a British guitar should come with a free tea making supplies and an electronic kettle. Hey, Paul, and a cheese sandwich. Yeah, yeah. Harry says there are some guitar shapes that shouldn't be made. I refer to the infamous Wangcaster. Google at your own risk. I don't think I'm going to Google that. Yeah, that sounds like one I wouldn't play. Time Surfing says Vintage makes some cool different guitars. I'll have to look into that. I'm not familiar with that name. Yeah. Paul says, asked to make a MAGA caster. He wanted the body in the shape of a red ball cap with MAGA stuff on it. I'm working on the design with them. Oh boy. Interesting. I did get asked several times at the show about some custom builds. Nothing, I mean, nobody had really could say what they wanted, but exactly. But I did get a few leads on potential custom builds. I'm not sure. We'll see. Sam's looking at Martin backpackers now. Very cool. They are kind of cool. Harry Dude says, what? No crumpets? And Paul says, I do have the I'll build it out of anything reputation. Yeah, I was talking to somebody recently about doing custom stuff and like how far outside of your wheelhouse are you willing to go. And it would depend on the design. If I have to stray too much from my original Haley Guitars shapes, I don't know. It would have to be pretty dependent on the exact situation, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I would, if someone said, can you make this wild shape thing? I don't know if I'd take it or not. I'd have to get a little bit further along in the investigation. Time Surfing Aliens says, I took the shims out of the neck pocket, adjusted the trem block route, moved my bridge back, and reassembled. I need a pickguard now. Whoops. I need a pickguard now, but it rocks. Sunstar makes great guitars if you're building... Why is it... I keep trying to scroll, and it keeps trying to put everyone in timeout. Oh, wait. Makes great guitars if you're a budding tech. Gotcha. Nice. I'm glad you're able to get everything back together and it's working well. That's so awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Paul says, I just realized this. Martin backpackers do not have a truss rod. And Sam's back on the desktop because the tablet wouldn't cooperate. Well, I'm glad you're still with us, Sam. Right on. Yeah, sometimes those gadgets don't quite work the way we want them to. Speaking of gadgets, last week I started assembling a new Wi-Fi network here. I don't know if it's going to solve some of these problems so I can stream with something other than the phone, but we're trying. I'm working on installing a mesh Wi-Fi system. I'm still working out different placements for things, so I'm going to have one of those little nodes out here and a couple of them in the house, and hopefully it'll help with the Wi-Fi coverage. I don't know. We'll find out. So far, I haven't found the perfect location to put everything to get the best signal, but I do have Wi-Fi coverage now here in the workshop, which is kind of incredible. Speaking of gadgets, I'm installing more gadgets. Darn it. Paul says, and let's see, Aristides guitars are formed in a mold filled with fairy dust, ground up mushrooms. Oh boy. And they sound great. No wood on them. Interesting. Really? I've not heard of them. I'm gonna have to look into that. Huh. I gotta look that up. Aristides. Aristides? However you say that. Really, no wood, huh? It's all some sort of a composite material. Interesting. Oh, I have a slight update, have on the bass guitar. I've been talking about it for years and years about building the Subtonic. I have got the drawings all revamped, basically, and maybe even after I finish the edit from the guitar show, I might start working on that a little bit more. Working on getting everything extruded and the actual 3D models completed so that we can begin to move forward on that. So I'm trying to not lose sight of that project because that is something that I want to complete this year, probably sooner than later, but at least this year. Working on that, I've got them all redrawn and pulling them into Fusion and kind of trying to move forward on that. And it's kind of cool to see the whole thing kind of come together. Now, I've already drawn this up before, but I didn't really do it the right way. I didn't draw it up with separate versions for 4, 5, and 6 string. I do have a 4-string version completely modeled, but then I realized, how am I going to add a 5-string to that? So I had to back up with the drawing, kind of reconfigure some things, and now we're getting caught back up. But just sharing that with you because I feel that it helps keep me on track. If I let you guys know kind of where I'm at with a certain project that I've been talking about forever, so you guys can kind of hold me accountable. Not in a bad way, but just keeps me moving forward. I'm like, well, I can't stop working on this because I told you guys what was going on, so I gotta keep after it. Let's see here. Scrolling back up. Sam says Wi-Fi should work better in American homes as they are made of wood. UK homes are brick, concrete, or stone. That's worse on Wi-Fi. I've thought about that before. I think part of the issue and why I'm having a hard time getting good Wi-Fi out here, I live in a very old home. It's over 100 years old. And the walls have more of a It's got that lath and plaster, where you put up a bunch of boards and smear the plaster on there. And I kind of feel like that makes the wall denser. And I don't know. This is totally just speculation. I have no idea, really. But I don't feel that it lets a lot of the Wi-Fi out. And, if it was just wood and sheetrock, maybe it'd be a little better. But yeah, that's interesting. I can imagine if it's brick concrete, your Wi-Fi can't get through it very well. Hair Dude says, guitars made of tone goo. Who would have thunk it? Tone goo. That's the next big thing. I'm telling you. Bubble gum and duct tape. Aristides uses a body filler called Arium that they inject in the entire body cavity that acts as wood to transfer the tone. Interesting. Huh. Robert says if you don't have it, you might think about using some sort of directional antenna for your Wi-Fi. That's another thought. I've thought about that. I don't know. I've got a couple of new routers in, and they're all set up, but I'm just trying to find the right position. I'm always unplugging them and moving them around, trying to find just that right spot. Sam asks, do you have a YouTube channel QR code? You could laser them into products. I do have a QR code, and I have it on, I have it on some of the stuff for the guitar show. For my booth, I have some different things with QRs that you can scan to do things. But yeah, that's a good idea. Put it on some things. Time Serpent says trailers are mostly metal, so it's like being in a Faraday cage. Yeah, it's kind of where I am. It's like in a little metal cage. Time Surfing says bubblegum and duct tape for that 50s sound. Yeah. And soup can springs, right? Like the microphones or whatever. And Harry Dude says all the lead paint on your walls from 100 years acting as shielding. Maybe. I mean, we have tested the walls like a long time ago with those little lead testing kits, and it didn't come up with anything, but I don't know where, surely it's been painted when they use lead paint, but I don't know if it's all been sealed in or removed sometime in the past. But the tests that we did, the little, I don't know what it is, hardware store kits, didn't come back with anything, so who knows? There's got to be lead in asbestos, for all I know. I just don't scrape the walls and tear them down or anything like that. Who knows? Robert says if you look around on the net, you can probably even find some plans to build your own directional antenna with the bubblegum, duct tape, and soup can. Oh, maybe onto something there. A Time Surfing Alien says I bought a Wi-Fi antenna built a Wi-Fi antenna from a Pringles can and copper tubing. So it can be done. I don't know how I would attach an antenna to a router that doesn't have an attachable antenna. I'm not sure. I'm not saying you can't, but I got to do some investigation. That would be an interesting project. Another project that I got to do at some point, and I'm not really looking forward to it, is I think Jim asked last week about my diesel heater. It seems to be acting a little strange. I can't get it to stay lit now, and I'm thinking it's the little combustion chamber is getting fouled up. So I'm gonna have to take that thing apart and probably service it. If anybody's ever used one of those diesel heaters for anything. Yeah, they got a little glow plug, like almost a mini little diesel engine kind of thing, or diesel jet engine kind of, I don't know. This doesn't actually have a piston, but a little diesel thing. And they get kind of gunked up. So I got to figure that out, because I turned it on this morning and it fired up, and promptly shut off. And yesterday I couldn't get it to stay running either. So I'm going to have to probably tear into that and might make a video on that one. Just going through and servicing it and see if I can get that thing working again. It's been a little while since it's been cleaned out. Sam asks, could you convert an entire chain link fence into a long Wi-Fi boosting antenna? That, I don't know. I don't know enough about that technology. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome if you could. I don't have any chain link fence, but I've got lots of, like, barbed wire and, livestock fence that runs around. I don't know. Robert says, I have a friend that's into ham radios, and he built many different antennas to test. But that's for ham radios. You most likely find different types of connectors to the router. And Time Surfing Alien says, seems the fence would be grounded out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting idea. Now, what if you... I don't know. If you could find a way to connect it to the router, and then you just ran, like, a wire down through. Maybe it ran through insulators, fence insulators. That'd be interesting. Get, like, a mile-long antenna that runs around the property. Oh yeah, Sam says the rubber insulators. Yeah, I used to use fence insulators. If you could connect it, I don't know how you'd connect it. I have no idea how you'd connect that to a router to help boost the Wi-Fi. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. Paul says you have to make sure the resistance setting of the wire to make an effective antenna. Yeah, I can imagine that's something. I am not a antenna radio type expert, but it would be a fun project to try to understand. Paul, what are you working on besides your custom shape guitar build? Any other guitars on the bench? Adjust that just a little bit. I don't know if you were in, Paul, yet when I was showing earlier, but at the show I picked up a heat blanket controller for my acoustic side bending machine. So kind of looking forward to getting that installed on there. Robert says, yeah, you might get signals from NASA if it did work. I'd have either that or I'd have Wi-Fi for miles. Paul's working on a memorial guitar for my grandson, custom telly for a friend, and several guitars for the Dallas show. Nice. And Sam says, here's where Jeff's town suddenly suffers migraines from a fence antenna. Yeah. It's all over the news. Local residents become ill from crippling headaches. One local resident responsible. I can hear it now. And Tony's here. Tony says, morning, sunshine. Good morning, Tony. How are you this fine morning? Hopefully you're doing well. Harry Dude says, have you heard of Powerline Ethernet adapters? We have them in Australia. You can use them to run network signals down house wiring. Never use them, but may help you. I have seen those. I have no experience with them. I've not used them. But I'm keeping that in the back of my head because there is some that'll work with the mesh system that I've put in. So if I can't quite get it still, then I will try one of those and see. Yeah, that's definitely an option. Paul says, when we were young and antennas on cars broke off, we used coat hangers or raw potatoes as antennas. Oh yeah, I've done the coat hanger. Coat hangers worked really good. Now it's hard to find metal coat hangers. Don't tell anyone. But I still have a couple. And I make sure to save them because you just never know. They were so handy. Sam says we got electrical outlets in the UK with boosters in them. Now that's kind of cool. It's built right into the outlet. It's like part of it? Or do you plug it into the outlet? That is kind of cool. Huh. He says yes. Built right in. It's part of the outlet. So you replace the outlet and it's got a booster. Interesting. Huh. Time Surfing says my ISP has Wi-Fi boosters you plug into an outlet. Probably the same sort of thing, I'm guessing. Maybe not, but sounds kind of like it. Huh. There's so many things out there. Robert says, oh man, they're about to start making a mess outside. Along the road. Just looked outside and they have laid out a long pipe. Not sure if it's water or sewage. Oh boy, you're going to have a little construction nearby. It's my understanding here that they are running a fiber line miles up the road. And they're going to be coming right by here. So I don't know if that means we could potentially have access to fiber. Or if they're just running the line on by and they're going to just wave and say, sorry, sucker. Harry Dude used to see coat hangers as antennas on cars. He says creative people used to bend them into the shape of Australia. Oh yeah, that I could see that. I just had it stuck in there and like taped on with some, I don't know, probably masking tape for all I know. Sam says our outlets have a lot of built-in safety features too, including a switch per outlet. Huh. Who knew? I mean, I didn't. That's pretty neat. I wonder if they have that sort of stuff here. I mean, I know you can get things with, you know, USB chargers and, you know, those GFI breaker things and all that, but I don't know if we have anything with like boosters and stuff. I mean, it'd be cool if we did, but I've not seen them. That's pretty neat. Huh. Sam says they have a YouTube video telling about the plugs and outlets. Interesting. That is cool. Time Surfing says that I'm glad they got away from telescoping antennas. Crackheads have broken off more than one of mine for crack pipes. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had one broken off for that specific reason, but I've definitely had the antennas broken off, and it is kind of nice not having that, you know, the big antenna sticking up there. Like we used to have. Robert says they've been working in the horse field next door, digging up and doing something, just not sure what. Hopefully they're not digging big holes while the horses are out there, because I wouldn't want a horse to fall in some sort of hole. Surely they're being a little safer, but oh, hopefully anyway. Cheers. My coffee's mighty tasty today. Maybe because I am feeling a little bit tired still. But yeah, it's kind of hitting the spot. Sam says that's what happened to Mr. Ed. I loved Mr. Ed. I mean, I only saw the reruns, but that was always fun. I had to play some for my daughter not too long ago so she could see a little bit of the talking horse, her being the young horse lady. So I want to throw out a question to you guys. So I'm working on, of course, after I edit this video, some upcoming projects or some upcoming videos. And I've got several planned, several things in the works, but I want to throw it out to you guys and say, what sort of projects would you like to see? Is there anything that would be particularly entertaining? Or maybe something you'd like to see me try, or something you know that I should do? I welcome the feedback. Like I said, I've always got a really long list of projects. But if there's something in particular that you would enjoy, let me know. I'm always open. Try to do I try to do a mix of projects, and yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there in case there's anything you're like, man, I really think you should build or try this technique or something, feel free to let me know, because I'm open to suggestions. I do have somewhat of a small welding project that I'll probably be doing at some point. It's actually just a small commission that I had come in. Kind of waiting for some warmer weather to be able to get that done because I have to do all the welding outside. So I've got that coming up. I've got two commissions. Excuse me. Actually, two commissions. I'm not gonna. I won't go into too much detail on one, but it's a woodworking project. But yeah, and then of course some guitars. We got to always keep the guitars going. Robert says, I've even seen people use cloth hangers, clothes hangers, as filler when welding. I've seen that too. I've never tried it. Sam says furniture. Right on. Robert says the horse is still in the field, but they have subdivided the fence and blocked the horse off from the hole. Nice. Good deal. Robert says try a neck through for the base you're about to build. It's a possibility. I'm not designing it as a neck through. But, we'll see on that one. Yeah, it's designed as a bolt-on neck. But we'll see. I might be able to do a special version at some point. Harry Dude says, I'd like to see how you have designed your guitar templates for the CNC. Interesting. Okay, so that is something that I do plan to show at least. Now, the level of detail, I don't know yet. But I will put some of that in the video for sure when it comes to working on that bass. Really high level though. I mean, I can let you know here. Of course, I'm not really going into details. I am starting with it. The first version that I completely modeled out, I drew completely in Fusion 360. But like I said, I didn't make it where I have several different designs, or for the 4, 5, and 6 string. I don't know if I'll ever build a 6 string, but I have the design for it. I didn't draw it to incorporate all of those. So when I started over, I pulled those. I was able to use some of those DXF files and I pulled them into AutoCAD. Well, I didn't technically. Mrs. Homebuilt did because she's an AutoCAD whiz, but she pulled them into AutoCAD, and we have a 2D sketch of all 3 of those. From there, I'm importing it into Fusion, and then I'll be able to start extruding and adding pickup cavities and all of that. But I will put some of that in the video and try to, maybe the very first video we'll just do something like that, kind of covering the design. It'd probably be a lot of screen captures, but if it would give you an idea sort of how we got to where we're at. That's a good one, Harry Dude. I could see where that would be helpful. Paul says, we need you to build an Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator. Well, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool, and I want to build one now. Time Surfing says, how to wire a humbucker single humbucker 5-way switch with a coil split double pull double throw switch. Let's see, humbucker single humbucker 5-way with a coil split DP-DT switch. So 5-way. What would the 5 do? Would the 5-way switch already be splitting some of the coils? I'm guessing you'd have humbucker, half a humbucker, humbucker single, single, half a humbucker, single, and humbucker? I don't know. I guess it depends. There's a lot of ways. Depends on what kind of functionality you would want. There's a lot of ways you can wire, especially when you get into coil splitting and humbuckers and five-way switches, and whew, there's a lot. And Sam says NASA will be after him if he did that. Time Serpent says Marvin the Martian would be the go-to for a space modulator. Sam says perhaps a teardrop trailer. That would be kind of cool. And Robert says, when are you going to start working on your warp engine? Man, you guys want me to like build some sort of space capsules or something. And Paul says to Sam, I wouldn't be surprised if Matthias doesn't already have a set of plans to build one out of wood. Yeah, you're not wrong. Matthias probably does. And actually, there are plans out there. Sam, LOL. Harry Dude, yes. Harry Dude says, Time Surfing, you need to get yourself a super switch. That was what was coming to mind. Now, he says they have 4 poles and a switch per position. Hard to describe, but easy to get your hands on. Yes, the super switch has got like 90 million lugs on there. Not really, but it's got quite a lot. And whew, the amount of things that you can do with them. Now, I don't even know if I've installed any of those in my guitars because I don't use that many different options. But yeah, I have seen some wild schematics using Super Switch. And that might be what you want to try. There's so many things you can do. It's kind of crazy. And I honestly, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how you'd wire that up without doing quite a bit of research myself. Time Serpent says, thanks, Harry Dude. Paul says, super switches are cool. Complex, but cool. Have used them a couple times. Yes, they are very complex. I've studied some of the schematics that call, for some super switch wiring, and the lugs that come off of that thing. I mean, it's just like 2 rows of but your options are limitless pretty much with what you want to do. Robert says, I bought one of those super switches. Have no clue what to do with it, but I got one. For me, my personal playing, even the 5-way Strat switch is way more than I need. It's cool, and I've got some I've got a Strat that's been rewired. Actually, it was my first electric guitar. It's a made in Japan left-handed Strat. No, Squire Strat. So, but it's like 1991 or 92. So early 90s Japanese made Squire before Squire is the Squire that it is now. Let's just put it that way. And it's been rewired with, I forget what the mod is called, but it's where 2 pickups, like the bridge and the middle, yeah, the bridge position and the middle position are actually wired together in a certain position so that they work like a humbucker. So I believe the first position is bridge middle as a humbucker. The middle position, I believe, is bridge, or the second position. The middle position is your middle pickup. The 4th position, I think, is just the neck, and then all the way up is neck in middle in a humbucker type configuration, or something to that effect. I probably got one of those or more of those mixed up, but it was. I remember when I had it done. This is one I did not wire myself. We had a really cool local music shop since closed down, but he wired it up that way. And yeah, what a difference it made from having, just a single coil to being able to run two of them together. It was really cool. And I've done that since then to other guitars. When I sold a used one not too long ago, and I rewired it that way. It makes a huge difference, I think. Time Surfing says the way it's wired now, it's full of hum and single. Oh, okay, it's full hum, single, full hum, and single, full hum, and coil split on command. Interesting. Sam says if you made an entire rocket out of wood, covered in colorful stickers, it would still put Elon Musk's space. And Eric has a question. Eric says, first, never heard of a super switch. Yeah, super switch is cool. Check it out. It's got a bazillion different wiring options and a bazillion different lugs. And like Paul said, can be kind of complex, but very useful depending on what you want to do. Tons of options. Eric says, do you like Fishman pickups? I don't have a ton of experience with Fishman pickups, to be totally honest. But I have played sort of played, because they're righties, I think the ones I've played. I've played instruments with Fishmans, and it sounds fine. Actually, you know what? I'd have to look. I almost think I have an acoustic with a Fishman. It's an acoustic. I'm not sure if you're talking acoustic or like an electric, but Fishmans are fine, I feel. I don't feel that there's anything negative about them. I just don't have a lot of experience with them. I know that probably isn't a whole lot of help, but yeah, I have no negative connotations towards Fishman pickups. Eric says, oh, you have them on a guitar and really like them. That's awesome. See, there's nothing wrong with them. Time Surfing Alien says, I have a buzz I can't track down. Check your grounds. That's my default answer. Check the grounds. Make sure your solder joints on the grounds are good. That'd be the very first place I would look if someone handed me a guitar and said, why is it buzzing? That's what I would check. I would immediately go in, check out the grounds, and then you could go from there. Sometimes it even helps, even if it looks like it's soldered, sometimes it helps to just take a soldering iron and reflow the solder. Make sure that everything is indeed a good solder joint. I'm not saying that's the problem necessarily, but that's where I would start. Harry Dude says, is the buzz only when you use the single coil on its own? It could be too. Could be just that single coil buzz. I still would check the grounds. Now, single coil, you might not solve all of it, but who knows? Check the grounds. Check the bridge ground. All of the grounds. That's what I like to do. Check all the grounds, then you can go from there. Time Surfing says, it gets real noticeable when I use overdrive. And he says it's all the time. But yeah, of course, overdrive. If you have any sort of a buzz, as soon as you go to an overdrive or distortion of anything other than a clean channel, yeah, any little buzz that was there, it just amplifies it, literally. Which reminded me, I don't know why, this talk of wiring and things and buzzes. So one thing that I saw cool, one of the vendors at the guitar show, he was actually right across the aisle from us. We kind of got to stare at each other all day. Not really, but we were across the way neighbors. He's out of, I believe, Scottsdale. I think it was Colley Guitars, Colley. I should have brought his card out here. But anyway, he makes and sells cables, pickups, guitars. But I was admiring his cables because, he gets the wire, puts the ends and all that stuff, and he uses these. I think they're Neutrik. I forget what they're called, but they're the Neutrik 1/4-inch jacks that have the little switch thing, right? So when you unplug it, it basically shuts the cable off. How many times have you you pick up a cable to plug it in and you touch the end and it's all and then you're plugging it in and it's and click, click, pops and snaps as you're plugging it in. These, as soon as you unplug it, it basically shuts the cable off. I don't know if it grounds it out or what it does, but shuts it off so you don't have any of that annoying buzz stuff. And they were super nice cables. If I was in need of some cables, I would have totally ordered or bought some from him. Maybe ordered. I don't know if he would have had enough of what I wanted. But I thought that was super cool. And now I feel like I need to try making some cables of my own. Because that jack was pretty slick. Have you guys ever seen that? I think I've heard of it, but I've never actually seen one in use. And I like the idea. Super cool. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to make some audio cables now. Paul says, check the audio input jack. Make sure it's solid rubber. Or solid rubber. I can't even read. Solder. Audio. Yeah, check the jack. Make sure it's solid solder. There you go. Time Serpent says, I touch the strings, it goes away. I know it's the ground, just can't find it. There you go. Maybe just try going in and reflowing all of the grounds. Check that bridge ground. Make sure that is a really good solder connection. Because if you think about it, I don't even know what kind of guitar it is, but if you touch the strings, the only thing that is connecting the strings to the rest is through the bridge. It's not like the strings are directly, there's a wire or something connecting the strings. The ground wire goes to the bridge, the strings contact the bridge, and that grounds everything else out. So check that bridge ground first and then follow that back and just trace everything and just make sure all the solder joints are good. As Scott says, walk the solder joints, look for a cold solder joint. Yeah, that's what I would do. Heritage says, if there's no buzz playing clean and the buzz comes out when overdriven, you may need a noise gate. That's true too, but he said it buzzes all the time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he says it's all the time. Time Servant says, thanks everyone. And Robert says, might double check the ground and maybe the shielding. If it is shielded, let's say it's shielded with copper, like copper foil, I feel that needs its own ground to it. When I wire up a guitar, I will typically solder a ground wire right to that shielding, and then solder it to the back of a pot just to ground the entire thing. And I've not ever had any issues. Sam says, the annoying thing I found, microphone cables look identical to lighting DMX cables. Yeah, I mean, kind of. Time Serpent says, it's an adventure. It is. It's an adventure. Heritage says, grab a wire with bare soldered ends and use it to connect various parts, bypassing the existing ground wires to see where it has failed. There you go. Harry, dude, good call. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Grab a jumper, little jumper wire. Touch it to maybe connect it to the ground on the jack, and then you can what? Yeah, start bypassing things, and you might just figure out, hey, if I touch it over here, it goes away. If I touch it here, it buzzes, and then you can see what you're eliminating. You'll figure it out. Might just take a little bit of detective work. Time Serpent says, I'll go over the solder joints, then I'll put in some shielding. I feel like if it doesn't have shielding, the shielding may probably... I don't know with certainty that the shielding will solve the problem. You should be able to get it pretty quiet without... But I don't feel that it hurts. I put the shielding in even on guitars with humbuckers, and I don't really think humbuckers need the shielding, but I do it anyway. So you never know. I would start with the solder joints and try that jumper thing, like Harry Dude said. Sam says, thank you for the fantastic stream today, you legend. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. And thank you all for hanging out today. It is about that time. I got to go finish editing this video. Maybe drink a little more coffee. Finish editing this video of the guitar show so we can get that up for this weekend. Heritage says, yep, exactly that. And Paul says, have a great week, guys. Sam says to Paul, be safe. Donna says, have a great weekend. Bird feeder ideas? Ooh, do we need to make another bird feeder? Maybe we do. Time Surfing says, thanks for the help. Have a great day. Gotta surf. Find you a super switch. Right on, everyone. A huge thank you from me to you for taking some time out of your day and hanging out here, even though I'm a little tired. Gonna be enjoying my coffee for a little bit longer yet. But yeah, definitely appreciate you hanging out here with me. With that being said, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna fight with this button, hopefully, and sign out and go back and get some editing done. You guys, stay safe, stay well, get out in your shops, make some cool stuff, play some music, build some instruments, whatever it is. Have fun, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks a lot for hanging out. I really appreciate all of you. If you haven't, on your way out, hit that thumbs up button. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. Take care. My finger in front of the camera. Later, everyone.